Dero, you touched on it earlier, but now your thoughts on the return of Ronald Acuña Jr.
Yeah, there was three things there. I usually do, when I do the Dero details, I usually do 2 and 1, give Cubs a little love. But there was so much with the return. I mean, traffic was backed up on 75 in Cobb County for miles to get in to see Ronald Acuña back. And back before we thought he was going to be, and back before maybe we thought he should be, right? 9 months since last July. So let's dive in on the details right here. Ronald Acuña, the return, okay? Let me lock in on the lineups real quick because now guys are starting to slot in. 2021, that's when they were in Miami. Thursday's lineup, guys, the top 5 in the lineup are starting to slot in the right spots. Marcell Ozuna, Ozzie Albies. So let's roll the tape, Capalves. Let's get into what this guy means to this franchise. Because him at the top is an igniter, kind of a la that George Springer. This is a guy last year that was fighting for another MVP. 24 bombs, a 394 on base percentage, a 600 slug. But I think what's interesting is they were 43 and 44 last year when he went down. And then he had to sit there and rehab and watch Alex Anthopoulos go out and acquire all those dudes, Soler, Peterson, Rosario, and what happens? They go on and win a World Series, and the best and most talented players got to watch from the sidelines. That couldn't have been easy, so expect him to be an absolute beast the rest of the way here. He is jacked up. Kyle Wright, okay? Brian Snicker talked about it. You got to have some success in this league before you think you can get it done on a nightly basis. And that's exactly what happened last year in the postseason and in the World Series. Kyle Wright came up and had success. Not only that, he built off it, kind of scrapped what he was known for early in his Atlanta Braves career. He has put away the slider and added more of this hard curveball. He's started to elevate his heater a lot more. And the proof is in the pudding. This guy has been really, really strong for this team. He's 3-0 with a 1.13. You see on the left, 2021, he was throwing more of that power slider. He seems to have scrapped that a little bit for a little bit more break and a harder curveball. And the numbers don't dispute it. Look at 2021. All right? He used his curveball 13% of the time. Now it's almost 34% of the time. And it's up 3 miles an hour. And oh, by the way, guys are hitting a $121 off it. And he's almost 5% of a slider. You could throw that out the window. I'm not even honoring that pitch if I'm facing him anymore. So just a guy who kind of confidence breeds making some adjustments. You talk about a confident cat. Dansby Swanson, all right? He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and he got off to a little bit of a slow start. He was 10 for 58 coming into this series against the Cubbies. And now he went 4 for 9 with a bomb and 3 RBIs. And this is a guy who hit 27 homers last year, and a guy who can drive, I believe when he's right, can drive the ball out up the middle the other way. And that kind of frees him up to do different things. But what happens? Right out of the chute, you get a little pull happy. This happened to him a little bit last year. He talked about it with Alana. Timing might be a little off. Wednesday night, all it takes is one, right? Against Michael Givens. A little push shot through the 4-3 hole to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th, and you start to say, okay, maybe the floodgates are going to open a little bit. I stayed back on that ball, got the boys going, contributed to this, and then what happens Thursday night? On a 1-2 count, stayed back, he might be throwing me off speed, doesn't cheat to a fastball, and does Dansby Swanson things. I think he's interesting to watch as the season progresses because, like I said, free agent at the end of the year, you put him up against the big boys at that position. It's what are you looking for, right? Are you going to spend the $300 million on Trey Turner? What's Bogarts getting? Carlos Correa obviously wants it backed up. Dansby defensively, base running, some pop. He's an interesting player to because I don't think tools-wise he like dazzles people, but you know what he does consistently? He seems to always end up on the winning side of things. He won in college. He's won in the big leagues. He was a #1 overall pick. He likes the fact that people doubt him. He likes it. And he's an awesome interview.
That's the way I live my life, right there.
People doubt you?
Yeah, people doubt me.
On the
And I
show?
always end up on the winning side of things.
You really do.
Absolutely.